Hi guys in YouTube land. I'm doing a review on all of Leah Clark's animals. And so the first animal she has in her collection that I bought was the sloth. And the sloth is really cool because it has little Velcro on it, so she can always carry the sloth around. And it just looks cute because it just looks as if I can get lots of pictures with her looking down at her sloth, and she just seems like such a pretty doll. I think if she were real, she would be a very caring individual. So I love the fact that American Girl creates Girl of the Years with extra accessories and stuffed animals that go with their storyline, which is really why I'm hoping that American Girl comes out with really nice contemporary Girl of the Years or dolls with dark vinyl that look just as nice as these Girl of the Years. Because I really love what they do with their collection. I like the fact that the new girl, Kira, has lots of animals in her collection because the last Girl of the Year I had like that was Leah. And Leah, I mean, she was such a pretty doll. Like, I was able to pick her out in the store, like hand pick her. And I feel like I got the prettiest one as far as a doll is concerned. And I'll tell you guys a funny story. I was picking out a doll in the store years ago, and there was a man who was looking at me, and my family was there and everything. So it was just me who was like looking to see which doll I was going to buy for my family collection. And I'm the most discriminatory person in my family. I classify things and look for details and hidden, I don't know, all kinds of hidden objects. So I'm really good at investigations and detective work, and because I have those skills. And so I was doing that with the dolls. I was able to put those skills to good use with the dolls that I collect. So I was looking at the dolls and I was looking at their box and I was inspecting the box and looking at the dolls' faces. And I had like maybe four at a time I was looking at. And this man, who you could tell was a father, he had never been to the American Girl store, and he was looking at me like, "What is going on with you? Why are you spending so much time picking out a doll? Just pick out a doll." And he even told me what I was doing. And I told him I was a collector and I've been with American Girl since I was a little girl. I was about his daughter's age when I got my first catalog for American Girl, which was Pleasant Company back then. And I just remember how expensive these dolls were, to the point where my parents, they were like, if you're going to get a doll, you better get the best looking doll ever because these dolls are expensive. And I took that to heart. So as a parent myself, I knew that if I was going to pay this amount of money for a doll, I wanted to get the best one. So I told him that. And I said, these dolls are an investment. Your daughter's going to have these dolls for the rest of her life, hopefully, and pass them down to her children. And I don't know about you, but I don't usually spend $100 on dolls. I said, these dolls are very, very expensive. So you want to really take your time when you're choosing a doll for your child or your daughter. And so the man, he thought about what I said. And I said, you must really have it good, because if you didn't do that, you just let her pick out whatever doll she wanted. You don't know if that doll has any scratches or imperfections on her face. And I know American Girl does that whole, we go through quality control, but I've ordered enough American Girl products and received enough American Girl products where sometimes the doll's wigs are choppy, or they have short hairs all over the place. Sometimes I would get things that were damaged. And so when I would call American Girl, they would always apologize and always let me pick out another item that I thought was better quality. But just like any other company, they still have things that they have to work on. So when I told the man that, I said, you know, you don't really know what type of doll you picked out. Yeah, you picked out an Addie doll, but did you inspect her? Did you inspect her wig to make sure that there was no rift in the wig? Or did you inspect the vinyl to make sure the vinyl was, the way that you want it? Because these are still dolls. These are still toys, and you really want to make sure you're getting the best one. And I know for a fact that I'm not going to get this doll again. When I buy one doll, um, that's the doll that I'm paying for. I'm not paying to, buy her and then have her fall apart years later. So he looked at my doll, and the one that I had in my hand at the time, and then he looked at his daughter's doll, and I could tell the wheels in his head were turning. Like, no, I didn't inspect the doll before I gave it to my daughter. I wasn't aware that dolls could have imperfections. So he was really like, oh, this woman. At first, he thought I was just ridiculous. And then he was like, oh, yeah, she really must know what she's talking about. So it was so funny. And that's why I always am an advocate for picking your dolls out yourself or picking things out yourself. But I realize that if you don't live near an American Doll store, it's inconvenient. And it's also inconvenient when you get rude salespeople who pick things out for you instead of letting you pick it out yourself. So I do feel like that takes away from the experience when you do go to a store. You spend all that time going to a store or getting there, and then you get hit with a rude sales associate who doesn't want to help you or doesn't want to help you pick out the best doll. So there's a lot of things there, guys. So anyway, years ago, I bought her accessories. I bought this cat, and I realized I never took it out of the wrapping, which, obviously I had more things going on, like raising a family. So I also bought the turtle. So I was just like too busy to really put these things out on display. And I bought the cat and the turtle or tortoise at different periods. And so when I bought the sloth around the same time I bought the doll. So that's the reason I didn't take any of her extra items out of the box. So I'll take them out of the box now, and I'll kind of go over what I like about Leah's collection and what I like about Kira's collection. And I'll try to compare the two dolls as well. Okay, so here are the animals that I have for Leah's collection. And for those of you who have Kira's animals, let me know if the boxes have little facts about some of the animals and if their packaging is the same as Leah's was. Because I like the size of the animals. I like the fact that even though a lot of people complain about their scale being unrealistic compared to the size of the doll, I like the fact that these are, they have play value. So they're not so incredibly little and small that you can't even play with them or enjoy them. And I like the fact that if I wanted to have given some of these items to the youngest members of my family, and the youngest one probably would have like chewed on it because my son would have probably been teething. He was so little that actually, I think this was before he was even born. But either way, if you wanted to give them to some of your younger brothers and sisters, if they're teething or if they just need something soft and cuddly, I like the fact that these would do the trick. And they're so durable, and yet they're so soft and well detailed that they would really make a good toy for anyone to play with. And I like the fact that as an older child, it comes with a lot of facts about the animals. So you could even do your own report or a class report or something on Leah Clark's collection if you wanted to, about some of the animals and where they came from. With Kira, I'm not really sure if her collection even has that information. Like if you wanted to read more about Australia and some of the animals like the koala bears, and whatnot. I know one fact about koala bears that's not so pleasant, so I'll refrain from saying it. But I do like the fact that it also has kangaroos. It has a kangaroo in her collection, and she has a rescue set that I won't be getting, like a clinic, but I do think the animals are adorable. So just like Leah's collection, I do find lots of value in collecting these dolls because I feel like their animals are so nice, and you can do so much with their animals. And I didn't know anything about sloths. I realized that sloths are the slowest animals on Earth. Like, a lot of people will think snails are incredibly slow, or turtles, but the sloth is actually the slowest animal on the planet. And but they're very intelligent, I heard. So anyway, that's Leah. And again, with Kira, if I really wanted to compare the two dolls, yes, they both have those green eyes, but with Leah's complexion, she has a tanned complexion, and she has highlights in her hair, and her hair is really like a nice honey color. I like the coloring on her face mold, and I don't think American Girl really spends a whole lot of time on the coloring of the dolls anymore. I think they try to save that for the CYO, um, create your own. So it's CYO. I think they do that for the create your own dolls. So when it comes to great hair quality and great coloring on the dolls, I think they sometimes neglect the dolls that are $100, and they expect you to pay that price for the $200 dolls. But the older dolls, I realize, have really good quality wigs and good quality coloring on their skin and their vinyl. So I really don't know how I feel about that. But I do feel that Leah is such a pretty doll that I do want to make sure that if I do get Kira, I do pick out a doll that's just as equally as pretty as Leah is. All right, guys. Well, again, that's Leah's collection. These are all of her animals that came with her collection. The only thing I regret is that I don't think I have the box for the sloth. And if I do, it's probably somewhere in storage. But I like the fact that I was able to keep the cat and the turtle or tortoise with their own boxes. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.